You can't call it a comeback when it was this bad. It's sad to see your favorite musicians retire. Many fans wish to attend one more live concert or witness one more album release. But should we really wish for that? Today we'll show you why some musical legends should probably think twice before making a big comeback. Starting with number 10, we have Kiss with Sonic Boom. You wanted the best, but you've ended up with, well, whatever this was. Sonic Boom was indisputably the worst Kiss album ever. Do you know what happens when only two band members release an album that's also their first one in 11 years? Oh, and the cherry on top, it's exclusively sold on Walmart shelves? Yeah, the outcome is anything but good. This album sucked like a Kiss-branded Dyson. It's that bad. There's a reason why it features in Q's Worst Albums of the Year list. Most of the tracks on Sonic Boom, except maybe modern-day Delilah, are just filler content. They're so skippable that we couldn't even get through it in the first go. Plus, doesn't it annoy you that the band is trying so desperately to bring back the old sound? And they're failing at it. If anything, it all comes off as forced and just uninspired. Do better, guys, or just don't do anything at all. Moving on. Number 9 is Limp Bizkit with Stampede of the Disco Elephants. There was absolutely no need for this comeback. Limp Bizkit has been gone for a long time, and life was good. Music was safe. And so were our ears. But life rarely goes the way you want, and this band came back once more to disappoint everyone. If any of you still been waiting for this album, first of all, you have awful taste in music, and we feel sorry for everyone who has to hear it. Now, that's out of the way. You may be happy to hear that the album has been out for a year and a half. Fred Durst told us, it's online and yet we can't locate it. And we've tried, well, as much as you can to try to find a Limp Bizkit album. This isn't the first time the band has tried to release with zero promotion. We can't understand what they're trying to get at, but considering how bad the album is, their low-key release makes a whole lot of sense. And maybe they admitted that. And if they're admitting that, trust us on this, it's gotta be really bad. Limp Bizkit is notorious for their horrible music. So just imagine how bad this one is. Just go home, man. We don't want another one from you guys. Next is our 8th pick, Billy Idol's Devil's Playground. We know 80s music is back, but some things should have been left in that era. When we say this, we're talking about Billy Idol's music. We know, many fans enjoy Devil's Playground, and we respect that. But if you ask us, trying to go all-out rock doesn't suit Billy. The album was just very over the top, and like many other comeback albums, it sounded like trying too hard. The style was all over the board, and we can't see why this whole thing was necessary. The artist could have done without this whole mess. If only he'd sung Dancing with Myself on every track. Now that's something we pay to listen to, but this album, a big no. Now, number 7 is The Bridge by Grandmaster Flash. We all know how this was gonna turn out. Grandmaster Flash turns up with a new album every 10 years or so, and every new album never manages to be what one would hope. 2009's The Bridge Concept of a Culture was perhaps the last nail in the coffin. Don't get us wrong, we love Flash, and we're not denying his importance in hip-hop. He's truly one of the legends, and we respect him for his pioneering work in the genre. That being said, his latest albums just aren't doing it anymore. We didn't expect The Bridge to be all great, but this bad? At one point, you start questioning whether Flash had anything to do with this album. It certainly doesn't sound like it. Throughout this mess of an album, you notice how the artist is trying to be something he's never been. The production, for one, sounds like it came out of some extended catch-up session. There are almost no samples, and there's a lot of yelling. It's also a half-hearted 80s nostalgia cliche. Full of flat-sounding synths and stylistic confusion, even Q-Tip or Busta Rhymes couldn't save this ship. Coming up, Mazzy Star's Seasons of Your Day gets 6th place on our list. We know what you're gonna say. Mazzy Star's 2013 album wasn't the worst comeback attempt. We agree it wasn't, or at least it doesn't seem like it. That's only because they were so impressive in the 90s. You can't just pick up on the same dreamy, aloof sound that once worked for everyone a decade ago, and you just can't slap that same overused sound on a comeback album. That's just not how it works, and safe to say, many fans were disappointed. A good comeback needs some growth, some newness to it. The same recipe won't work anymore, and if you can't evolve, just leave it be. Don't touch that legacy. Seasons didn't test any new boundaries. It was the same old Mazzy Star, making it incredibly dull and difficult to listen to. We were excited when we heard new music was coming, but this album ruined every little hope we had. Get ready for number 5, Go Away White by Bauhaus. Go Away White was this band's final album, and it came after, let's see, a billion years of nothing? We were all so geared up for it. After all, it had been too long. Little did we know we were better off with another billion years of nothing. This album sounded nothing like Bauhaus. On the one hand, you've got artists who just can't let go of their original sound, and on the other hand, we have bands releasing their last album that sounds like nothing they've ever made. Reach some middle ground, guys. Okay, so the album isn't all that bad, and we're probably gonna get some hate for calling it such, but you have to be honest. Does Go Away White sound like something you'll listen to again? The answer to that is probably no. The whole thing sounds over the top. And come on, you just can't release an album after a 15-year gap and not even tour. Up next, number 4 is Stone Temple Pilots feature Chester Bennington. Do we really need to explain this to you? Isn't Chester Bennington's name enough? Come on, you all know why this comeback made it here. year, Chester became one of the great names in music with Linkin Park, and we love his music, but this collaboration was just not it. Stone Temple Pilots recruited the artist to front the band after they fired Scott Weiland. The band made a surprise appearance at a K-Rock radio festival, and every fan in attendance thought the same thing. What is wrong with the world? The whole thing wasn't just a horrible idea, but it also impacted the great legacy of STP. Okay, Scott was struggling again, but picking Chester? Come on, guys. The band then put out an awful EP, High Rise, and they toured to half-empty venues. STP can't be STP without Scott. For our third to last pick, let's take a look at All Saints' comeback with the album Studio One. This popular girl band had some great songs. Their split in 2001 secured the legacy, but like everyone else on this list, it wasn't long before they ruined it. Their comeback single might have gone to the top 3, but the album just bombed. It entered the charts at number 40. Their second single didn't even make it to the top 200, and it obviously got worse when we learned that the members had only reformed for the money. A new reunion was announced in 2013, and we don't even want to get into it. Best for everyone's sanity to keep it that way. Now on to number 2, The Weirdness by the Stooges. No one expected this. This is the Stooges we're talking about. To have a comeback album be as uninspired and lame as The Weirdness was is something we couldn't have ever expected from these guys. This album was the band's first comeback since 1973, and the last one with Ron Ashton, and yet it's so bad we just don't get it. Not only does this comeback complicate the Stooges' once clean history by merely existing, but it's also a poor record. It was a danger to the band's legacy, and no fan was happy. Why was it even made? Wrapping things up with our top pick, Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy. What else were you expecting for our number 1 spot? No comeback in the history of bad comebacks can beat just how disappointing this one was. We had no Slash, no Buckethead, nothing except Axl Rose, who hasn't been the same since 1988. Nothing about this album was good. It sounded highly dated when it came out, and the production was all over the place. Even the mastering seemed pretty off to us. Looks like not even Axl's tantrums could save this one. It sucked through and through. That's a wrap for this video. Which musical comeback do you hate the most? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.